We are live. Animate Fun popped up. Wow, you are always on there. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to say hi in the chat over on YouTube. On Instagram, hello, we've got Ryan Shirtlef22 joined over on Instagram. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Once again, we are doing a Q&A time. I don't think it's going to be quite an hour today, but whatever time we have left. So if you are a beginner in drones and 3D printing, or maybe you're not a beginner, but maybe you have some kind of problem that you need help with, we're going to try and help you with that during the time that we have here together. That's the idea. We're live on Instagram and Facebook. So if you are needing some answers for those types of like drones, 3D printing, RC stuff, RC airplanes, stuff like that, and you need some immediate real person, real live feedback, now's a great time to get it. So if you have those questions, go ahead and ask them. Otherwise, we're just going to be hanging out together, talking about whatever I think of in my brain, and probably also going through this bin of drone stuff that I have with me because we're doing 12 days of Christmas giveaway, 12-day giveaways over on YouTube. So go check that out. We already have, I guess, just 2 days so far. I think today will be like the third day. I might even put out 2 in one day. I'm not sure. But I'm getting rid of a whole bunch of drone stuff, you know, to give it a new life, free myself up to get new room for new stuff and new things that I'm interested in, and to hopefully send them off to a good home. Okay. So that's the idea. So that's what we're going to do. I've got this bin of drone stuff, so we might just pull some out and do a little show and tell, basically. And Anime Fun says, bro, how about the giveaway? How about the giveaway? I'm not sure what you mean by that. But so we're doing 12 days of giveaways. It's only on YouTube. So I'll have a video for each day, so you can't go comment, read the description on that video, and that's how you can enter and possibly win in the giveaways. So I think it's going to be a good old-fashioned time. So if you have any drone 3D printing related questions, go ahead and put those in the chat, put those in the comments, and we'll see if we can help you with those, or at least point you in the right direction. Also, welcome back to RC with Adam. My name is Adam, if I didn't say that already. All right, first up. So we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do a little show and tell in between questions here. And also, Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year. Let me tilt this down. See if I can. Actually, I don't know if I need it. Probably don't need to tilt it down. We're probably fine like that. For now, anyway. I know the camera looks a little strange. We'll see. So, we've talked about some of these other ones in the previous streams, like this 7-inch sized frame. Big old dude. Just a big old frame. Big old guy. That's pretty cool. Probably not giving that one away. Oh yeah, I think I mentioned this yesterday. Let me hit the lights here so you can see this a bit better. There we go. So we got this guy. You guys remember the like the old school style of Cinewhoops? This is a 3.5 inch. I want to say this is like they call this a reptile frame, like a reptile 35 frame or something. I don't remember. But I have several videos on this. I think I actually have a build video, on this guy. You know, at the time, this was like trying to, I think it was like a budget Cinewhoop situation, 3-inch, or is it 3.5 inch? It might be 3.5 inch. You know, with the ducts and stuff. But man, now like I just think about it, and it's like it's so heavy. It's so heavy. But I might be giving this away as well, so stay tuned for that. I've got a bunch of other stuff to give away as well. We have somebody else on YouTube. I can't read your name. Aleph, 1 up, 713. Alf? Is Alf your name? I don't know. But hey, thanks for there you are. There's a camera. Thanks for hanging out on YouTube. He says, "Oh my gosh, it's a Cinewhoop." Yes, it is. It is a Cinewhoop, and it could be yours potentially. This will probably be one of the giveaways in one of the days because I just don't use it. I'm kind of past. Not kind of. I am way past this whole style, and I think kind of everybody is, to be honest. But we got good, totally functional motors. These are Emax Eco 1407 2800 kV motors, I think, on here. It has they're wired up to an ESC board, but I don't know that board is fully functional. So some of the stuff I'm giving away, it's been used, it's been well loved and maybe abused a little bit. And a lot of times you can see them on my videos, which is kind of cool. So it's like you're getting a little piece of history. What else do we have? Oh, here's one. Here's another drone guy here. So let me see. Oh, I'm trying to monitor all the chats. Well, Instagram and YouTube. We're live on Instagram and YouTube right now. So everybody over on Instagram. So we have DG Photography. Been various others. Welcome. So yeah, if you're just joining me, now's a great time to ask your drone 3D printing related questions. Get answers to them, especially if you're a beginner and you're confused and you're pulling your hair out. But in the meantime, we're just going to be doing some show and tell and talking about stuff. Primarily drones in this case, because I have a big bin of drone stuff. So this dude, does anybody recognize this? This was from, I use this for when Mepsking, if they're still around, Mepsking came out with these new motors. These are, they call them the space motors. They're SZ 2207 1950 kV. They call them space motors. But then there was like some kind of kerfuffle thing about Mepsking, like something about like was basic. I don't know if they were like trying to buy reviews or they were trying to influence the reviewers or saying like, hey, you can't say bad stuff about our motors. I don't remember, but there was like some kind of drama about that. And then I kind of like, I kind of like redacted my support of Mepsking. So, but do your own research. I don't know if that's like still a thing or not, but these motors, I believe, they look great. They have really cool color schemes. So there's that. You got the purple and purple. Let's see, is that showing up? Yeah, the purple and emerald almost. That's cool. High vis. That's neat as well. So yeah, so I slapped them on this quad and was ripping them around. This is what is this? This is a Speedy Bee. Is that their logo? Speedy Bee? It's an infinity symbol. I think that's the Speedy Bee logo. It's an all-in-one board, and it has like a aluminum heatsink over the top. And Animate Fun says, "Bro, can I have this? And why not?" Well, you potentially, you gotta enter in those giveaways. And then this is on I think this is on an iFlight frame. I think this is a iFlight, gosh, what was the name of that one? I think this was my first 6S drone. It was an iFlight. Totally blanking on the name. I don't remember. And then this little scorpion tail on the back here. Yeah, I think that's coming through clearly. The scorpion tail. This holds a Insta360 Go 2. And if you want to get this design to use this on your own drone, you can get that from RCwithAdam.com. And did I include the file for this? I think it's a separate file for the Go 2 holder. Somebody else designed that. Pretty sure. And then I got the old school DJI Air unit, and what am I running? I guess I'm running Crossfire on there. So I'm not sure if I'm going to give this one away or not. It is pretty beat up. What is even on there? Bunch of shavings. How did that get like that? I don't know. I'm not even sure if it still works, to be honest. I need to probably like take it out and try it. But this one has just been so beat up that I might just keep this as my ripping around quad, especially because I can still put the Go-To on there and get some cool footage. So might hang on to that one, but it's just fun, you know. It's kind of neat when you have drones and stuff that it's like kind of like little time capsules, and then a lot of times the drones and stuff are kind of tied in with videos that I've made, so it's kind of a neat, I don't know, neat memory. See. Set you there. See. This was my go-to 5-inch build for a long time. Still kind of is, but I need to replace a motor. Well, I would need to replace the motor, and then I need to like update the FPV feed, and you know, kind of. I mean, it could basically be totally updated, and it's heavy and blah blah blah. So I don't use it, but this was my go-to 5-inch build. So I'm not going to give this one away because this one is still kind of, I guess it has like some sentimental value and stuff. But I really like these motors. These are the Zing or Sing. I think it's a Zing 2405 1800 kV motors. We talked about these in a previous live stream. We talked about that one. We talked about this dude as well. This big guy. This is actually my first 7-inch. I got this from, was it somebody on Instagram? I think it was somebody on Instagram. I don't think it was eBay. I think it was Instagram. So that was cool. That's just an old school, simple Source 1 7-inch frame with the classic Avenger 2806.5 1300 kV motors, and then it's got my ADAMM adjustable direction angled motor mount system on there that I've been testing out. I'll probably hang on to this guy as well. All right. Do we have any questions? Is anybody out there? I guess nobody's out there right now. That's fine. So I'll ask you guys, or whoever's watching, what I asked previously, which was, what are your plans, or what do you want to do in 2026 for drones or 3D printing or RC aircraft or RC cars, you know, stuff like that. What are your goals, I guess? What is it that you want to like do more or learn more about? And possibly most importantly, how are you going to do that? Something to think about there. Because, you know, you gotta, if you don't have any idea of how you're going to make something happen, then it's probably not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's, and I'm telling, believe me, I tell myself that as well. You know what I'm saying? We got a reply here on YouTube from a bunch of bananas. I've been assembling an RC Bobcat track loader. Oh, that's cool. Is it like what size is that? Is it like full size? That'd be pretty crazy. But even if it was small, that seems like a lot of fun. Those do seem fun. I'm not like as into the small scale RC stuff, but I think it'd be pretty fun. It'd be pretty fun to play around with those for a little bit. Animate Fun says, my goal is to make a RC airplane or a FPV drone. Nice. That's great. That's great. Skeeter on YouTube says that's awesome. Yes, correct. Hey, we got a question over on Instagram. Welcome over on Instagram. Let's see here. So, Hayat Shisayam. Sorry, I'm having trouble pronouncing your name, but over on Instagram they say, hello, what is your opinion about 35mm standoff? Give me some more information about that. What do you mean about that? What's your what about that would my opinion be, or what is your opinion about that? So you say 35mm standoff. Are you talking like the standoff on a FPV drone frame? 35mm. Honestly, I didn't really have an opinion about it until just now. uh, I have a frame. So, I hadn't thought about how large these standoffs are, but so anybody who doesn't know, just to kind of fill you in, we're all about sharing the knowledge and, try not to assume everybody knows the same stuff that we're talking about. So the standoff is going to be this. I mean, there's different uses for a standoff, but one of the main uses is to separate the bottom frame, part of the frame, from the top part of the frame or the top plate, and that would be your standoff there. And this one measures like 29. 20. So this standoff distance here is measuring like 29 millimeters. So basically 30 millimeters. That's pretty common. So 35 millimeter standoff, that's huge. That's pretty dang huge. So I would say, unless you like need to have a 35 millimeter standoff, I wouldn't want a 35 millimeter standoff because it's going to just make the more height that you have between the top plate and the bottom plate, it's going to be more likely that you're going to like crack something or like bend something when it crashes. So that would be like not ideal, basically. And it's going to be more weight. You're going to have 5 more centimeters than a frame like this. This is the Source One frame, open source One frame. I think I got this from Race Day Quads. So you'd have 5 more millimeters per standoff, which is going to add up. All right. Over on YouTube, Bunch of Bananas says 3D printed, fully functional, 1/10 scale. Okay, so he's talking about the RC Bobcat track loader. That's cool. 1/10 scale. How big is it? How many inches is that? Is that like a foot tall? 1/10. Seems like it'd be pretty big. Well, if a Bobcat loader is like, I don't know how tall a Bobcat loader is. If it was 10 feet, then it'd be 1 foot. But it's not 10 feet. So it's, I don't know. But that's pretty cool though. I missed a question. Over on YouTube, Animate Fun says, what is the weight of this drone? Sorry, I'm not sure which drone that was when that I was holding when you were asking that question. I think you were talking about this drone, the one with the scorpion tail camera mount. I don't know. It's heavy though. It's heavy. I don't know where my scale is, but it is pretty chunky, especially by today's standards. So I should say, like, I don't know, 400 grams maybe? Maybe 400? Not sure. But that's just kind of one of those, like, ripping around drones, so not super concerned about, like, high performance on that, I guess. Back on YouTube, so we were talking about, like, what are your, kind of 2026 goals or things that you want to do or, with drones and 3D printing. So we got the Bobcat track loader. That's cool. Alif. I think it's Alif. It's not Alf. It's Alif. I want to make a RC car with Arduino and FlySky FSI 6X. That's cool. Also, I will make a RC boat. Nice. And that's a new one. Abhilash KP, I think, says, Adam, how are you? I have learned so much about FPV from you. Thanks. Well, thank you. I am doing great. Yeah, appreciate that. And I am very glad that you have learned so much from me. That's pretty cool. What did you learn, or what are some of the things like that you learned, or like where are you in your FPV journey now? I'm curious. Oh, Anime Fun says no, the weight of the Cinewoop. Oh, thanks for clarifying that. This is the Cinewoop we were talking about. I don't know the weight on this one either, but just the frame and the motors, I'm gonna say it's like 200 grams. I'm really just guessing though. But basically very heavy compared to today's standards and everything. And Abhilash, I think that's what it is, says love from India. Love from America. Thank you. All right. Hatul FPV. Ramsey, Wild Custom Cars, FPV Gamer says, hey, FPV Gamer, over on Instagram. Welcome to the chat. So we're just, I need to have like a little like running info thing like on the screen or something. But this is, we're doing Q&A with drones, 3D printing and stuff like that. So especially if you are a beginner and you're just getting into it, you got questions, send them over, put them in the chat, put them in the description or the, comment section and stuff like that. We're going to see if we can get you squared away with the time that we have left today. But in the meantime, in between questions and stuff, I'm just kind of going through all my drone stuff. A bunch of it I'm going to be giving away over on YouTube. I've got a whole giveaway series. We're in the day 2 of a 12-day giveaway. It's going to be great. So go over to YouTube and check that out if you're not already on YouTube. Anime Fun says, love from Bangladesh. Bangladesh. Wow. Thank you, Anime Fun. Love from America. Bangladesh. Wow. That's like so far away. How crazy is that? Right? That like I'm here and like, you know, and like I'm making videos and like people from across the world are like learning stuff about like from the videos. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I'm glad to have all of you. I'm glad that somebody's learning something from this. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Also, what time is it over there? It must be, it's about 12 noon here. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what time it is. I'm still trying to figure out what time is a good time that works for my schedule, that also like works for a lot of other people's schedule to be able to help them with their drone questions and stuff. Because it with this kind of thing, it's like I have to be sort of like working or like, you know, on the doing this at the times that other people are like not working at like their jobs that they have to be at a certain time. So still trying to figure that out. So that's what we got going on. Let's take a look at some other cool stuff. Oh, wow. Yikes. All right, so I don't know if you saw that. I just dropped this flight controller stack because the way the box is made, it falls out really easily. Let's see. Yes, hopefully that audio should be pretty good. All right, cool. So some more stuff to talk about. We got this guy. I think you can see that. Okay, this frame here. I believe this is a Mario 5 frame. I want to say that's the name. It's not written anywhere on here. I have a assembly video on this frame. Never actually used the frame. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, cool, yeah, frame, yeah, I'm going to totally use it. But then, like, I'm not actually going to use it. So it looks like a cool frame, though. You can watch my assembly video on it. It's the Speedy Bee frame. And these yellow pieces on here are not part of the frame. These are part of the ADA-MM mount or system. The adjustable direction motor mount, adjustable angled Adjustable direction angled motor mount. Yeah. So this was when I was prototyping it. So I have these on here, but that's not part of the frame. I also have the rest of this frame, and I'm going to be giving this away, and possibly with some other goodies. I'm probably going to not just give away just frames. I'm probably going to do like some kind of package. But I did just put, I don't know if you in case you didn't see it. So over on YouTube, I just put up a video yesterday for the giveaway for this guy. This is a 5-inch drone. It's pretty sure everything still works. The stack has not been used. The motors really haven't been used. It's really just the video system is kind of an old analog system, but I just figured let's throw it in there just so you have everything ready to go. So this is, I'm giving this whole thing away. So this one's like a kind of a ready to go complete quad. Some assembly required, soldering and stuff like that. But that's, so I'm giving that away on YouTube. Go check out that video. Get entered into that giveaway. So I'm not sure if all the other drones and stuff like I'm giving away are going to be like complete, but we do have this frame right here. This one's a pretty cool one. And then we have some other goodies from RC. So this is another one of those things where they sent me this. So RC, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't review these things. I had too much going on. I was totally gonna, but combination of having so much going on externally and then internally, not having a good, I guess, system of like organizing things. And so I just sort of like always think I'm going to do more than I actually am. And it doesn't work out so great. So this is the, wait, where's the English version? There we go. So this is the Taker. Well, that's the manual for it anyway. We call this the Taker F745 BT. Oh, that stands for Bluetooth, I believe. That's pretty cool. That's what it looks like in the box there. So this is a whole stack. I'm going to be giving this away. I'll probably give this away with a frame. Actually, yeah, I'll probably just do this. Well, that's like almost the whole thing. Maybe I'll just do that as well. Give away another combo. I feel like that's more fun if you're the one who wins it, as opposed to just getting a frame. So I think that's kind of cool. But anyway, I don't know if this is showing up clearly, but this is a stack. There we go. RC. It's not the newest, because I think they sent this to me like a year ago at least. But we have a lovely ESC board here. Like, so if I can get it in the camera, there we go. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I believe this has Bluetooth enabled. And also we have a full flight controller as well, with a whole bunch of connectors. Check out all those tabs if you want to use tabs on the bottom. Or pads, I'm sorry, pads, solder pads. Over on YouTube, Animate Fun says, "Bro, can you come to live a little bit early?" How early? I don't know. Over on YouTube, Abhilash says, "I have built around 5 FPV drones. I've collected so much information about hardwares. I mostly have gathered proper info, fly sky transmitter from you." Oh, cool. Good. Yeah, like I've said before, I feel like that's like, maybe that'll be my great contribution to the world, or at least the world of RC stuff with all the fly sky videos. I don't use fly sky much anymore, but I'm glad that I made all those videos when I did. I like making videos about stuff that there's not information about. That's what makes it the most fun. because you know because it also serves just a practical purpose that it's like you can't get the information elsewhere. So I like that. I like solving problems for people and stuff like that. Says I think you solved a telemetry issue on one of the FlySky receiver models. Oh, cool. Ablash says I've switched to TX16 way back. Yeah. Yeah, which I guess you could still be using FlySky receivers with a module and stuff like that. Yeah, so this stack, this GEP-RC stack. So I think what I'll do is I'll do a video. We'll get more in depth on this just for funsies, just to give GEP-RC like I guess some more airtime. Because like I said, they sent it to me. They were super cool about it, and I didn't do anything with it. I'm sure I'm not the only one who does that, but I don't like doing that. So that's why I backed off of a lot of reviews over the past year or 2 years. But I feel like we can get back into it, especially with all the live streaming that we've been doing. I feel like it's, I have more realistic standards for myself in the sense of like, it's just not going to happen that I'm going to like put a ton of flight hours on, or even just several flight hours on one product just to test it out and then do like this whole big review like I'm Joshua Bardwell, or like I don't know, Stu from UAV Futures, or any of those other like the big time names in the FPV drone world. So this little guy, we've got this is the other thing that GEP-RC sent me. It's called the Matin. I'll flip it around so you can see it. It's a VTX. It's a 2.5 watts max power. So obviously, you wouldn't be using the max power, because that would be against rules in a lot of places. I'm sorry, I have something in my eye. Anyway, but I'm sure that could be useful for some people. It's got a little MCX connector, I think. MCX antenna. Comes with some antennas. It's funny the stuff that I remember the names of and some things I don't, because I just haven't needed to like know the names, but like all the connector styles and stuff, like I need to make videos for people who are just getting into drones again of just like really quick info. Like these are all the connector styles. These are, blah, blah, blah. This is like really quick reference, which would be super helpful figuring out what the heck is supposed to work together. So that's the other thing from GEP-RC. I guess I'll show you like a little, this guy right here. Oh, sorry about that. So on YouTube, Animate Fun says, bro, I hope you know my name is not bro. I didn't like, my name is Adam. You don't spell Adam, BROOOOOO. I'm just kidding. It's 11:50 p.m. in Bangladesh. Oh, okay. Wow, look at that. Almost 12 hours difference. Hellspark on YouTube says, "What's up, man? Getting some work done and saw the notification and thought I'd tune in." Well, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Especially when you're getting work done. You know what I mean? Appreciate that. Yeah, we're hanging out right now I think we have like about 15 minutes left or so, but we're doing question and answers. And if you got questions about drones, 3D printing, stuff like that, I'll give you an answer. Might not be the right answer and it might not completely solve your problem, but that's always my goal. Or at least to give you an entertaining answer, I guess. Oh man. KV Thunder. Hey, I know KV Thunder, if that's the KV Thunder that I'm thinking of. Says, Ope updated my handle. Is that, was that your handle? I don't know. Yeah, KV Thunder. What's up, dude? It's been a minute. It has been a minute. If that's the KV Thunder that I'm thinking of. Oh man, I hope you're doing great. It's been I think we briefly saw each other at the last Flight Fest or Flight Fest 2023. Man, I can't even remember. It's been crazy. It's been a whirlwind of a couple years. Oh, okay, I got you. That's the same person. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, KV Thunder. What are you up to? Or I guess not, necessarily personally up to, but what's your drone 3D printing situation looking like? Are you still doing what you've been doing? Are you getting into new stuff? Ever since you showed me the what are they? I can't remember the names now, but basically the really small scale little crawler cars. I've been like I've been wanting to get one. I still haven't gotten one, but that's kind of my thing for 2026 is like maybe I will finally get into that uh even just for a little while, and then and so that's why I'm like trying to give away a whole bunch of my drone stuff and like kind of make room and start fresh things and stuff like that. um Abalash over. Oh, also on Instagram, I haven't been answering Instagram stuff, so sorry about that. We never did hear more about the information about what my opinion is on a 35 millimeter standoff. Um, and then we have another question from somebody on Instagram that just says, "How much for? How much for?" I don't know. I don't know. I'm not selling any of these things, by the way. So, but we are doing giveaways on YouTube, and and we might be talking prices of things, but I'm not really selling this stuff right now. Abalash on YouTube says, "What do you do apart from YouTube?" Good question. Well, my primary job is I am a husband and a father, and then for monies, YouTube is like some of it. Obviously, I haven't been on YouTube as much lately, but I also do some like I guess part-time professional drone work. So Performance Drone Media is my company that I do that through. And then lately and I haven't really talked about this on YouTube, but lately the past year I started a new business called Fun Fidgets. So fun. And the name is Fun Fidgets. The so fun part is the tagline. So like it's a little jingle, like Fun Fidgets. So fun. So that's how that works. But we basically what that is 3D printed fidget toys and super cute desk buddies. In fact, I have one on my desk right now, which is this little dude. Which these guys, people either love them or hate them. So primarily, we've been licensing these designs from a designer who makes them look like they're crocheted. So there's like these little creatures; they look crocheted. I think they're super cute. Some people love them, some people hate them. But that's one of the things that we offer. And then the other stuff is like fidget toys. So like here's an example, actually. Like this guy. This is a collapsing star. This one is glow in the dark, and I call it like the Oreo color scheme because it's got the black on both sides, and then the glow in the dark white in the middle. So again, it's interesting. Some people love these or hate these because they make sounds, and some people love the sounds or they can't stand the sounds. Yeah. So that's been super fun because I love designing 3D printable stuff. I love designing, I love 3D printing, and then to be able to combine that, super fun. And so we're just getting started with that. This year it's been mostly like in-person, like vendor shows and stuff like that. So that's primarily what I've been doing over the past year. And then this year I'm wanting to get back into the YouTube stuff and kind of grow that and figure out like not exactly how to like make more money doing YouTube stuff, because I think that's probably not the right way to like go about it, but trying to figure out what I can do to go into that, like what I'm doing right now. I actually really enjoy, which is why I'm doing it, like the live streaming, helping people figure stuff out, um, helping people figure out problems. So that's what I'm trying to figure out is like how I can go further with that, basically. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So let me get back up on some of these YouTube comments. Abalash says, I'm fairly new to RC planes and unsure where to start. I'd really appreciate any suggestions. Suggest some good simulators as well. Um, and so we got to keep that one in mind. Actually, let me just try to answer it really quickly because usually I have these like long-winded explanations, but when there's like multiple questions, I'm going to try and be more quick about it. So, new to RC airplanes, any suggestions? Basically, a trainer of some kind. Get something that's like a trainer. People in the chat, do you have any suggestions for a good like beginning trainer airplane? What comes to mind would be like something that's kind of like a glider. Oh, what is that one? Well, also, do you want to build one or do you want to just buy one? Because that's going to be a difference as well. I mean, obviously, Flight Test, they're like the go-to place for, well, I guess not just building airplanes, but also buying airplanes because they sell a lot of like pre-built like airplanes. I actually have not been keeping up with Flight Test for a while now, so I'm not sure like what they have, but that would be my go-to place to check that out, and see what they have that's like good like beginner kind of aircraft. But basically with beginner aircraft, you want something that can glide well, something that almost like flies on itself. You want something that has like wings that has some dihedral, so the wings go like the wings go like up a little bit, instead of just like straight across like a super fast aerobatic plane. You wouldn't want like a RC jet, for example. That would not be a good beginner aircraft. And then of course you can always get an aircraft that is that uses technology to make it a beginner aircraft, like basically uses a flight controller that has like a gyro, so it'll like auto level itself. For me personally, I would say do not get any type of Cub as a beginner aircraft. But I just say that because I've crashed terribly all of the Cub style aircraft that I have flown, whether it has like gyros on board or not. So personally, I don't think that would be a great beginner aircraft. And then you want something that's going to be really durable. So that's the main thing. So potentially a pusher style aircraft. Probably something like, I think the FT Explorer, I want to say. I think I actually have that one partially built, and I didn't actually build it because it's a pusher style. Also simulators. I like the Phoenix. I guess we could just look this up together too. But the Phoenix. Gosh, what is it called? Phoenix. Not RC Simulator. I can't remember what what it's called. I think it's Phoenix. I have it on Steam. It's available on Steam. Is it called Phoenix? Gosh, what's it called? That called. I'm gonna answer this one, and then I'm gonna get to the rest of them. I'm just trying to figure this. Trying to remember what this simulator is called. Because I know there was like a really old version called Phoenix something. Let me see if I can pull it up here. That's super weird though. Super weird that I can't find it. Oh, okay. So I guess I should just say the obvious one, which would be Real Flight, the Real Flight Simulator. Uh, I what was my problem with that? I think my problem with that was that it's not for Mac. So I'm on a Mac. My main computer is a Mac. So I can't use Real Flight Simulator. So that's why I was like, oh, that's lame. So let me go to a different one, which I am going to find for you right now. And again, we're talking about RC Airplane Simulator, not FPV Drone Simulator. Oh, okay. Not Phoenix. My bad. Not Phoenix. It's called Aerofly. Aerofly. Let me share my screen with you real quick so I can show you. There we go. It's called Aerofly. So I got it on Steam. I don't know where else it is, but because it's available on Windows, Mac, and I don't know what that is. Steam. I guess that's Steam. I guess you just play it on Steam. I'm not really sure, but I like it. It seems to work pretty well. And yes, 100,000% get a simulator. Whether you're doing FPV or RC aircraft, a simulator is insanely helpful. I would say maybe more helpful for if you're just doing like line of sight RC aircraft. And you can also change the angles and stuff, so you can fly at like FPV. So like if you were doing an FPV aircraft. So a bunch of really cool stuff there. Helps a lot to get like your depth perception. Just train your brain in depth perception and model orientation and what your airplane is doing when you move the sticks when it's like facing away from you, and you just kind of get used to it that way. So there we go. All right, I'm glad I didn't leave that like it was. Nicarot on YouTube says, "Hey, are you familiar with the Cetus X drone?" I am a little bit. I have a video on the Cetus X. What is your question about that? Wow, I have too many windows up. So many windows. Wow, so many cool things to do. You know, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, oh, there's so many cool drones, different types of things to get into. Like that's why this year I want to like, you know, kind of start fresh in a lot of stuff. I'm not going to pull it up right now, or at least at this moment. But over on YouTube, I have a video with a review of the Cetus X. I think it was the Cetus X Pro, ready to fly kit. Red Nose over on YouTube says, "Hello, this is the perfect title for me: 3D printing and drones." Oh, fantastic. Well, Red Nose, if you have any questions about those, leave them in the chat. We are coming up on our time limit here. Where's my? Yeah, we got a few more minutes, I think. Yeah, we got a few more minutes. KV Thunder. Let's see. KV Thunder says, yes, it was Flight Fest 2024. Crazy. Actually been really he says, actually been really busy doing dad stuff. But once the kiddo is old enough, we are going to get back into the crazy projects. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations on being a dad. That is exciting stuff. Yes, I imagine that is very busy. Yes. Well, I don't have to imagine because that is how it is for me too. So it's definitely, you take on a kind of a different perspective. Doing these crazy projects and stuff as a dad, as opposed to just like a random guy, I guess. Animate Fun says, "Oh my gosh, it's so cute," referring to the little axolotl with a Christmas hat from Fun Fidgets. And Animate Fun, thank you for, again, I'm late answering these, but thank you for commenting these guys. Animate Fun says, You said my name. Thank you. Picasim is the best freeze simulator. Oh yeah, I like Picasim. I guess that's how it's pronounced. Picasim. Yeah, it's really good. It's I don't know if is it for the computer? I'm not sure if it's for the computer, but I know it's for like mobile. I've had that on like my tablet. That's a really good one. Actually, my phone, I think. So that's even just that. Even though you don't have your transmitter connected to it, although maybe you could. It's a good one. Especially if you buy like the full version. And I just searched it, and it looks like there's some info about it. So you could probably find some info on Picasim. Picasim. Let me share my screen with you just to show you. Probably Picasim, something like that. Looks like there might be some videos showing how to connect it to your joystick. Look at that. How to use Picasim with FlySky transmitter. Wow. So go check that out. That would be a great one. So it is free, but there's like the paid version, and you can get like a lot more from it. And I think it's like a few dollars. So 100% yes. KV Thunder says Wings Simulator is fun. It's focused on fixed wing FPV and not the most realistic physics, but good enough to train your thumbs in third person view. Third person view mode. December May Project says, do you so question over on YouTube from December May Project says, do you really need those dryer for filament PLA? Animate Fun says it's for PC and you can use a transmitter. So Picasim is for PC as well. That's cool. Yeah, that could be a good one as well. And what's cool about Picasim is you can change the physics, and you can actually like have a lot of fun with it, because you could make like the airplane gigantic and then decrease its weight a ton so it flies like super slowly, and it's this giant thing. So you could make it less realistic or more realistic. So that's pretty cool. So December May Project says, do you really need those dryer for filament PLAs? So I think the question is, do you need a filament dryer for PLA? I think that's what your question is. Short answer, no. Longer answer, it depends. And basically, it's better if you do. I store all of my filament, which is actually a lot right now. I mean, it's more than I've ever had before, in these bins. I'll pull them up for you on the screen. Airtight bins, basically. So, and it also depends on your climate and stuff like that. If you are 3D printing in a garage, like an unenclosed, uninsulated space, then having a filament dryer is going to be like a big deal. December May Project says, sorry, bad English. That's okay. I got what you're saying. Let's see here. Let me find these to show you kind of like what I use. Oh, good. Okay, we're actually already screen sharing. How long? Anime Fun says, how long will you stay in the live? At this point, I probably just need to answer this question and then leave. So, because we're like out of time. I want to start it later because it seems like more people jump on like at 1:00, right when we're ending. But that's probably not going to work for my schedule moving forward after the holiday stuff. So we'll have to figure something out. What I like are these bins called Easy. What are they called? Easy. Okay, just had to check. They're called Easy Y Storage. Easy Y Storage. Bin waterproof. So they're waterproof. I don't know where you're coming from or what country you live in. December May Project, but these guys are what I like. Oh, these are so great. They're the best. These are the best bins. So I found these at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby, which is like a craft store. And the ones I have, they are, which ones are they? Let me check. 50 liter. All right. So I have the 50 liter. To be honest, maybe I should get even a bigger one, but I have the 50 liter. These are like, I don't know, like I think less than $15 at Hobby Lobby, at least the last time that I bought these. So these are very reasonably priced for plastic bins, which are surprisingly expensive. They have a seal all the way around. They have 6 latches, so you get a really good seal. They're IP67 waterproof. I'm not sure what that is at the moment, but well, it says submergible to 1 meter deep. Okay, so what I do basically is I store all my filament in there to keep, just to like limit the amount of moisture that the filament can soak up, and then I put desiccant, like kind of a lot of desiccant, like silica beads. I think I got those from Amazon, but you can get them from craft stores and stuff like that. I put them, you dry make sure the silica beads are dry. I put it in like a little toaster oven or just an oven or whatever, and dry it like as per the instructions. And then I put them in a plastic bag with a bunch of holes poked in them, and then put them in the bins. So I can store, let me just count really quick. It's like over 10 spools, I think. Hang on. So this is the bin, how big it is. And it's got, yeah. The only thing is I kind of wish these weren't clear in some ways, but I guess you could always just like spray paint it if you really didn't want it to be clear. They're also great for camping and for like storing food, because that way you keep all the bugs out. It's great. So we can fit like, we've got 1, 2, 3. You can easily fit another one right there. So really, we could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We could do 12, yeah. So at least a dozen. So you can fit a dozen or maybe 13 1 kilogram spools in those containers. And that's how I store them. Now I do have a filament dryer, but usually I only dry the filament if it is like TPU or something that really needs to be dried to print well, or if it's been sitting out a while and I'm not getting good quality with it, then I'll put it in the dryer. And then I have the Bamboo Lab AMS system. It primarily that's like the main with my main printer. So with the filament that I am printing with goes into the AMS system, which also has desiccant, and it's like sealed. So that's how I limit the amount of moisture that gets in there. And so I'm in North Carolina, which is in the southeastern part of the United States. So and it's also kind of swampy around where we live. It's kind of close to the beach or close to the ocean. So it's pretty humid, but like right now it's wintertime and it's a lot less humid, but in the summertime it gets really humid. So there you go. And yeah, these containers are just so great, but I've only found the 50 liter and the 18 liter at Hobby Lobby locally here in North Carolina. So I'm not sure, like if we go to like where to buy. Well, they say Aldi, Big Lots. Those are some ones that are around here. Family Dollar. Yeah, maybe you could get them from Family Dollar. The Home Depot. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be in stock everywhere. And I think this is primarily, they're showing U.S. options. So whatever country you're from. But this is like, I love these containers. I wish that they weren't clear when you're storing stuff like food, so that way you could actually like limit like heat, like because you don't want the sun shining on this and then whatever's inside gets really hot. So probably some of these I should like spray paint white on the outside. You could spray paint it on the inside, which would potentially protect it more, but I don't know that I would want spray paint all over the inside, especially if I'm going to be storing food. So just a couple of thoughts there for you. All right, we got a couple other people on YouTube. Norman over on YouTube says greetings from the Bermuda Islands. Whoa, Bermuda Islands, that's crazy. And we got Floyd Wilcox on YouTube. Says hi from Colorado. Colorado. You guys getting some snow out there in Colorado? I've been to Colorado. It's a beautiful place, but I know that I'm sure there's a lot of different geographic areas of Colorado because it's a pretty big place. Because there's a lot of flat places in Colorado, aren't there? But everybody probably just assumes that it's like the Rockies everywhere. Yeah. All right. So I think we answered those questions. And well, I could keep on talking. I could. Everybody over on Instagram. I don't know if there's anybody watching on Instagram. People show up, but then it doesn't say there's anybody watching. So I'm not really sure. If you're watching over on Instagram, go ahead and leave a comment and say hi. Because otherwise I won't know. And Floyd on YouTube says no snow yet in Colorado. 65 degrees today. Yeah, I guess so. Which maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you're glad it's not snowing. We don't get much snow over here, so we're always excited. At least I am. My family is excited to get snow. So, Norman Robinson has a question. Let's answer this question. This is going to be the last question. It says, I'm extremely new to 3D printing and live in a very humid climate in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, I would think so. Should I consider a dedicated AC room for my printer's home? Well, so short answer, yes. That would be ideal. Because so like, do you have air conditioning at all in your house, or do you have? So basically, so I would say, well, first of all, I would say, just try it out. Like if you want to get into 3D printing, get into 3D printing. Give it a try. See if you're having bad print quality issues where you're printing your where you have your printer located right now. And then if you and if it works fine, then that's great. If you are having issues, then you might want to consider that you could potentially you could just build like an enclosure around the 3D printing area, and that might help. But to be honest, though, what I would really like would be to have a dedicated 3D printing room that has an air conditioner in it, or climate control system, and I can just store all my filament in like out in the open, like on shelves, instead of having to store them in the bins, like I was just talking about. Just because that would make it much easier to use. And also because, like I was saying, I do a lot of printing, so I have a lot of rolls of filament at the moment, probably like, I don't know, close to 50 rolls of filament. So it's getting to be kind of crazy storing them all separate in bins. But but here's what I would say before you go and like worry about trying to have like it in an AC air conditioned, climate controlled like room just for 3D printing. Like assuming you can't just put it in a room in your house that already has air conditioning or is climate controlled. Probably the thing to try would be to have a filament dryer that like is able, where you're able to have your filament in a filament dryer as it's printing, basically. So that way the spool does not absorb moisture as it is sitting there feeding the filament into the printer. And then, once the filament is printed, once it's extruded from the nozzle, I don't think that would be as much of a problem. You know, like the only thing I would think of is like bed adhesion issues, but I don't think the moisture is going to be a huge issue once it is going through the heating process and it gets heated and like it's dry when it's heated and then it's extruded and then it's cooled. I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue with the humidity. I could be wrong though. Somebody who knows more about that, let me know. Ah, ooh. Mm. Oh man. All right. All right. Hopefully that answered your question. Norman over on YouTube. Good luck getting into 3D printing in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. That should be exciting. My voice is going away, so we have got to stop for the day. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. KV Thunder, good hearing from you, man. Hope you're doing great, and Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to all of you. I'm excited for this coming year and what we've got going on with RC with Adam and elsewhere. So I'm going to sign off on Instagram. See you later, Instagram. And we will say goodbye over on YouTube. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you again on the next one. Tomorrow's Saturday. Not sure about tomorrow. I'm not sure about the time. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see you when I see you, but I'm going to see you soon. Probably, and another giveaway. So stay tuned for those giveaways over on YouTube. Thanks, everybody. See ya. And Happy New Year. Bye. That was fun.